What's your show called, man?
The Business Entree. The Business
All
Entree
right.
Podcast.
Okay. Bear with me. I'm driving, so you know I'm gonna be looking around sometimes, just making sure I'm driving safe. No, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm going driving home. That's it. I'm done for the day.
Well, what time is it right now? It's like 7:40. You just work?
7:40, 7:39. Yeah. Waiting on. Yeah, I'm saying the Ramadan.
Ramadan, fasting.
Breaking my fast. Yeah.
What time do you start working in the morning?
I start 10:30. Well, I'm usually there like around 10 o'clock.
So you want to give yourself like a little intro for the people, like what you do?
Well, this is Aimen Arrak, and they call me A. I run a cell phone shop on Frankfurt and Montgomery, 1800 Frankfurt Avenue. It's called Fix It LLC. Been in the business since 2003, but the shop has been open since 2014, about 6 years now, going. And, I'm ready to do the show with Zachary. So
So
they call you Zachary or Zacharia?
I don't know. I don't even know who's watching right now, man. I'm just talking.
That's all good. I thought
So
it wasn't supposed to be people watching. I thought you told me this is a one-on-one.
nah. So if you say anything out of pocket, I can edit it out.
Oh, okay. Okay, I feel you. Sometimes we slip.
Yeah. So you
So
said
what's up, man?
you started the business in 2003. What does that mean?
That's when I first started owning my own shop as a business owner, man. 2000 in March, I'll tell you exactly. March 15th, 2003.
So what was your first store?
My first store was on Fifth Street, Fifth and Tabor, man.
What was it though?
Around the Fifth and Colony. It was a phone shop, sales retail phone shop. It was never like repairs like today, but I was doing repairs, and that's what actually kept me going in that store. But we was doing a lot of sales. We were selling unlimited was about 140 a month, and a lot of people were buying unlimited, but most of the people that were buying unlimited was people that get money like drug dealers, and they would switch phones every month, and they would have an unlimited plan, no internet, just a regular Nokia phone for $140 a month, and it started going down little by little till we got to the $25 today, unlimited everything. Well, unlimited talk and text at least.
So you were selling like services.
Yeah, I was selling services. I was selling phones. I was selling accessories. Everything. We never had for example, a lot of things changed from then to now. Like we never had glass screen protectors back in the days. Now we have glass screen protectors. Phones wasn't that smart. Now they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things changed. The game changed, man. The profit margin changed.
So your first store, was it a certain company that you opened up, or was it just?
No, it was just a store with my own name, my own. It was called City Wireless.
Uh-huh.
We still have a City Wireless open, but it's owned by my partner. My old partner stayed around. I moved on.
So
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Because ever since I worked for you that first summer, I was soft when I started working for you, right? So I didn't know what the definition of hustling was. I didn't care to hustle. I was lazy as hell that summer.
Nobody's born with not certain things to know, man. You learn as you go. You learn from experience. School sometimes doesn't even teach you a lot of stuff. You start learning things when you actually start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think I learned how to fix phones? I only learned how to fix phones not by going to school. I learned how to fix phones by actually fixing phones. So it changes. You gotta actually do something, and you make mistakes while you do it. It's nothing wrong with it.
So I gotta
Because
ask you, what gets you up in every single morning to hustle every single day? Because that first summer, I didn't understand how you did it. Like it seemed like a
well, I
long time.
mean, sometimes when you get yourself involved in a business and it's your own business, it's not as easy as I own my own business. I'm the boss now. Nah, it doesn't work like that, man. When you're a business owner, you sign a contract with responsibility. You sign a contract on a lease for the location that you're running. You sign a contract on the merchandise you buy that you have to sell. You got utilities, you got taxes, you got insurances. All these things has to get paid. So if you're making $10,000, $6,000 out of that $1,000 a month is going towards the cost of the business, where it costs to run this business.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have no choice but to get up. So when you learn to get up and at least keep up with your bills to survive and keep that business open, you will learn how to make money, because the more you're in there, the more money you'll make. So the more hours you put in, the more time you put in, the more money you make. So instead of making 10,000 to only end up with 4,000 a month, you make 20,000, so you can end up with 9,000 a month. It's just, and the more you make, the more you have to spend at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, people don't understand that part of the business. They always like from the outside, they always look in, and it seems like it's all like fun and games. You get to do
No,
whatever you want with
every move you make in the business costs you money, man.
it. Hmm.
Everything. Like as soon as you open the door in the morning, you start spending money. So you got to do it like this. Let me put my windows up, man. You got to look at it like this. Every single day, you have an average of 150 to 200 to 250. Depends where you at, and how much is your lease and all of that, and how many employees you got. So let's say your overhead is $200 a day. So you go in the morning, your first priority is to make that $200 a day to survive. Once that $200 a day for profit, not just bring in 200 and it's all profit. Once that $200 profit comes in, the rest is all extra profit in your pocket, because the first 200 profit is going to go towards your rent, your insurance, your cost, just the day, everyday cost, man. It's nothing free. So at the end of the day, you have to work extra hard to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And some days you will make the 200. Some days you don't. But the more days you're in and you're doing what you got to do, the more you're guaranteed to make it. And at the end of the month, you know what? I got this 4 or 5 grand to pay my bills and pay the cost, and then the rest is pocket money, and the rest is saving money, the rest of the reinvestment. And one thing about the business, no matter how much money you make, there's always a chance to upgrade it. There's always a chance to put more money back in. At least the first 2 years, you have to always keep reinvesting in it. So the more money that store is going to make you, the more you're going to have to reinvest in it. At the end of the day, you end up with a better business, because you got to upgrade. You can't just start with something and keep it like that for the next 10 years. You got to start with something and upgrade something different every year. Every year's change. Every year make an addition. Every year bring something that's going to bring you more residual. So at the end of the day, it's all about how your mind thinks. How can I make more money in here to make it easier for myself?
Yeah, and I think people got to understand that because, you know, I remember like me being from on the outside looking in. It always seemed like there was no bills. It just seemed like all the money going straight
Yeah,
to your pocket. Like people don't see the bills that you got to pay.
that
People don't
that
see,
that's true. That's true. But there's a lot of people that also know that it's so hard to start your own thing.
yeah,
And in the first, when I first started thinking about about my first store. It was a store that I actually was employed in by my old boss. And the day or the week before I bought the store, I was scared, even though I know what the store was capable of, even though I know that I can survive, at least survive. But I was still scared. The first day I got the keys for that store to come in, I had I had the bubble guts. I was like scared that I couldn't make it. But after a few months went by, and the first year went by, I started gaining more confidence, and I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not gonna lie, like I lost a lot of money, I made mistakes, but after a year and 2 and 3 years of experience, I started realizing what is required to own a business. What is it that you have to keep doing every day for you to keep up with this business? And I mean, I'm not gonna say I was very successful, but I was successful in a way to keep in the business. I actually started with one location, and at some point had 6 of them. But I got so tired of just running them and doing so much work that I got rid of them, and I didn't want to be involved with like corporate America where they tell me what to do, even though it's my own business. They tell me what hours to open, what hours to close. They tell me if I open Sundays or not. They force me to buy things I don't even want sometimes. So I got out of that corporate America because I joined Metro in 2008, and that's what got me to open more stores. But at the same time, it kind of put me in a situation where I have to listen to somebody. So, and I didn't like that. I like to be on my own, for my own, and work. I didn't care at that point about money. Really, I cared about myself. Like, why am I working this hard to make another company rich when I could be doing it for myself? Even though I know I wasn't gonna make as much money as I was gonna do without them or with them. So at the end of the day, I think I made the decision because that's the type of person I am. I didn't want to be involved with a company. That's all.
So when you used to work a 9 to 5, right? Like not a 9 to 5, but you used to
I
work.
used to have a job, open and close for
Yeah.
somebody. Yes.
So what did
I
you?
did a lot of jobs actually.
Yeah. So like when you were working that job, did you ever like while you were doing the actual job for somebody else ever think about like, man, forget this place, I want to quit, I want to leave right now? You ever have any of those moments?
I had them and I did them. I worked. It was a job. I remember it was. I worked for AAA towing. This is way before I started getting into the phone business and all of that. I was working for AAA, and the person I was working for was, a cocky, rude person, and I didn't like his attitude so much. And I wasn't the type of person that takes orders from people. I'd like to be, I made my own decisions. I like to do things my way. And I remember one night I was working at nighttime, and one night the truck started making this weird noise, and I contacted him, and he was in his house relaxing while I was working for like $7 an hour, $8 an hour. So I contacted him, and he was frustrated that it happened, even though it wasn't my fault. The truck was going bad. So he tells me to come to his house so he can look at it. And I did go to his house. He was being like a little rude about it. Why did it happen? It happened on my watch, yes, but I was driving the truck and it started making noise. What do you want me to do? Like, it's not something I could have controlled. So he said something, I said something back because I don't take orders. And at the end, he was like, just take the truck back. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to take that shit back. And I took it back. That's it. And I never walked back. I never looked back again to that place because honestly, I hated it.
Uh-huh. So would you say like cell phone repairs and like the phone business, would you say that's your passion, that you enjoy doing it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I would have if I would have chosen something else, it's probably be weird. But I wanted to be someone that worked with animals, to be honest. But it never worked out that way. But being in the cell phone business was something I enjoyed doing, and I like doing it because I mean, one thing is that I'm my own boss, and second thing is I control my destiny with it. Like I know if I work hard enough, I can make it, and I know if I slack and not work hard enough, I can lose everything. So it's a choice I have to make. And if I wanna just be lazy, I could be lazy, but I pay for being lazy. It doesn't, everything does. You pay for everything you do, man. If you work hard, you get rewarded. If you work lazy, you will also get rewarded the negative way.
Uh-huh. How does it feel, by the way, to be your own boss?
To me, it's the same as working for somebody. I don't take it as I'm a boss, yeah, because I have people working for me, and I don't tell people that I'm your boss and you gotta listen to me. And no, I tell people that we work together. It's teamwork. Because at the end of the day, the only reason I put that second person or third person or fourth person in that position is because I need them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not working for me; they're working with me because they're helping build that business. They're helping make that business something that you know. So they're needed to be there for a reason. So I give them that respect because I never liked having a boss. So why, if I don't like having a boss, why should I expect other people to like having a boss? So I treat them as co-workers because I'm still a co-worker. I'm there to go work, do what I have to do, and go home. And there's a difference between me being home and me being at work. It's not the same thing. When I'm at work, I work. When I'm home, I'm with my family. I'm relaxing. I'm enjoying myself. So it's a job to me. It's not like yeah, I'm the boss and I run shit. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. That's a good way
Yeah,
to stay disciplined and be like a little bit more humble because you see some bosses yell
yeah.
sometimes.
No, there's people. Yeah, there are people that take advantage of being bosses, of course, and it's not everybody. Just And so sometimes in big companies, you never see the boss, the real boss. You never see them. You always see like the manager or there are people that's managing the place and they hire you as an employee and they they treat you as their boss. But then they're not even the bosses. There's bosses on top of them. So
Hmm.
they answer to somebody else.
Yeah, the layers of the business.
Yep, that's how it works, bro.
So what's are there any regrets you have about like sometimes running your own business? Like, what's the worst part
Having
of
what?
running the business?
Keeping up with the bills.
The bills,
Because
overhead?
see yeah, you're over him. See when you work for somebody, it's simple. You wake up in the morning, you go do your hours, you come back home. At the end of the week, you get your paycheck,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When you own your own business, you wake up in the morning every single day. You have to make your overhead for you to be able to survive. And I said this earlier. It's That's the hardest part of owning a business is keeping up with your bills. Like right now, we're in what you call a pandemic, and a lot of people are not able to open their businesses. Guess what? It costs them money every single day for them to keep their store even closed. So even if it's closed, they're still paying money for it. It's
Yeah.
not free. So not on top of them not making money for them to survive and pay their house bills, feed their kids, they still have to make. They're not making money. They're not making money to be able to keep up with their bills. They have electricity. They have rent. They have insurance. They have taxes. They have a lot of stuff that they gotta pay. So at the end of the day, bills is the most crucial part of the business of the survival of the business. Like you can you can make you can okay, I'll say this. If you can, let's say your overhead is 200 a day and you make about $275 profit a day. 200 goes towards the bills to survive for the store to stay open, and 75 goes in your pocket. You can still survive like that compared to only you making 150 when your overhead is $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all up to how much money you make every day. That tells you if you can survive or not. That's it. And it's not hard to own a business. It just takes consistency. It takes a good idea, of course. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna open a store," and you have no clue what the hell you're gonna do with the store.
Yeah.
Having a store is nothing when you don't have a skill or a product or something that you're gonna be able to provide for people.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're selling stuff, how about people don't need that stuff you're selling? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So bring
Like
that to the marketplace.
you have to provide things that people need on a daily basis for you to keep, you know, even if you're selling stuff people don't need every day, you have to add stuff that brings you residual. Like for me, it's bill payments. I have even the UPS access point is an addition. Like there's different things that I add to the business to give me a residual to guarantee the $200 a month, a day, to come in guaranteed.
Uh-huh.
And don't forget, you can't work 7 days a week. You have to give yourself a day off. So out of 30 days, you only have 26 days. Because there Sundays you want to take a day off. You want to relax. Yeah, you can hire somebody, but don't forget, every time you hire a person, it costs you more money than. Okay, let's say your bills every month is $3,500 without an employee. With an employee, it's gonna be $5,500.
Yeah.
That's only if you're paying them $500 a day, a week.
Mm-hmm.
And who can survive off 500 a week now?
Yeah, I know.
Nobody. So you gotta pay them 700. You gotta pay them 800. You gotta pay them 1,000. And if you're paying them 1,000 a week, that's an extra $4,000 a month that you have to come up with.
Yeah,
So it's not easy.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense unless you have like an extra layer of consistent customers coming in.
You have to create a reason for people to come inside, man.
Yeah, bring value to the marketplace.
Yep.
As many entrepreneurs would say.
Yep.
So you have one day off a week. What do you do with that time?
Sundays I chill with my family, my daughter, and I try to relax as much as I could, but it's hard because during the whole week I'm busy working, and then the Sunday comes, you have to take care of the house stuff, especially if you have a family. So it's not always fun and games. Yeah, I mean, when you grow up, you start having responsibilities and you start having things that you have to do. It's not just yeah. So my advice is try to do it the sooner the better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Before you start
sure.
your family, so that way you'll be established by the time you have a family and your house is you got a house and you know what I mean? Because if you do it when you have a family, your time will be very limited. You won't have a lot of time for your family. You won't, you know, you will have a lot of like stress related things like why you're not spending enough time with us? Why is this not done? Oh, I can close the store and go do this. So you get too busy because you have the responsibility at work. So you have to be at work. So, it's not always just sitting and not doing anything.
Yeah. Building a business requires consistency and work ethic.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. People are probably wondering this. Maybe it's just me, but you don't have to answer if you don't want. But what was your biggest month ever? Would you talk about that on camera or no?
I mean, I think my biggest month was profit or just income in general.
Both. So, both, because people need to get an idea of like.
I brought in my biggest month I probably brought in like $28,000, and
Mm-hmm.
out of that you can do about, I'd say, 40 to 50, 40 to 60, between 40 and 60% profit. I mean, I can't give you an exact number, but I know I brought in that much, 28 grand that month just out of the store, which is approximately about $1,000 a day or more because you don't count Sundays.
Yeah, gotcha. So do you have like any upcoming goals for like growing your business or expanding?
Right. I mean, right now it's steady. It's not much to grow at the moment, but there's always space. Yeah, I don't have ideas right now, but I was interested in opening. I have the garages on the side, right?
Yeah.
So I was interested in making it like a mail-in location where people come in and mail their stuff and buy products to mail their stuff and pay for the copy, pay to fax, pay to print, pay to do stuff like that.
It's not a bad idea with
But
the space you got.
yeah, it's not at all. It's in the works. So well, I'm hoping to get it together soon. It's just you get so busy doing what you have to do that you have to create more time for it. And the more time you try to create, the more time you take from your family, you take from your sleep, you take from even yourself. Like it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So, um, who can you tell us a story about like who was your craziest customer? Somebody who came in and like they yelled or they tried to start problems with you
I
or
had a customer. Well, my craziest customer probably wasn't in my store. It was it was when I was working for someone, and at that time I was still younger. We're talking about 2001, 2001, 2002. And I was like a hard-headed person, and I got in a fight with somebody that actually pulled a gun on me, and I threw I threw the register at him, and I got so mad.
wait. You're not
I
gonna
was
tell
being
us the
reckless.
story. You can't just start from there. You got to tell us what happened. What happened from the
It's
beginning?
been so long, I don't remember, bro.
You don't
It's
remember what
like
you said.
I
You
don't
don't.
remember details. He wanted his money back because something, and in this type of business, yeah, we give money back, but there has to be a good reason why I'm giving you your money back. It can't just, oh yeah, I change my mind. We're not a multi-million dollar company. We're a small business. We're trying to survive. So
So the guy pulled a gun on you, and then what?
yeah, at that time, my boss was already known in the neighborhood, and he got involved. Like he walked in and like he stopped it.
Yo, you're interesting.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah, people want to hear what you got to say. And we talked about the time you smashed a guy in the head with a register.
Well, I didn't smash him in the head with register because stuff like that, you either get sued or get shot.
Uh-huh.
You never do something like that. I just threw it and it just went all over the place, and it kind of like it didn't hit him, but it was just out of anger.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
don't say I hit the guy in the head because that never happened. I would have been sued by them. And I got sued before actually in one of my stores, and a lady slipped and fell in front of the store because of a pavement that was uneven, and I literally helped her up, took her inside my store, got her water. She Nothing happened to her really. She grazed her knee, and 3 years later, I was sued for 32 grand.
Oh man, people will do anything for a quick check.
Oh yeah, it's not the people. The people will will find a lawyer that's sitting behind a desk that wears a suit every day, and he will go after you for your money, and he gives her two, three, four, $5,000, and he keeps the rest of the $32,000.
Is that really how that worked?
Yeah, it's just it's a business. Those people that sit behind the desk, why do you think they have offices in high rises and high big places? Because they charge so much for their service. So
Yeah,
if I get sued for 100,000, the person that is filing the lawsuit gets 33%, and the rest goes between a lawyer and the doctor if they team up together, or expenses. Like a lawyer will charge you $100 just to make a copy of something and tell you it's expensive.
yeah. Well, that's capitalism for you.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. So
Wait, so who won in that $32,000 case?
they won because they were sending the lawyer was so smart. He sent the letters to like one of my homes that it's still it's on my name, but it's abandoned. It's still like a shell, so I wasn't going there. So I kept receiving letters there, and I didn't even know. And when the time comes for the court date, I had no clue there was a lawsuit. So once once the judge saw that I wasn't present and I didn't have a lawyer, nobody was there, he he gave him all the money.
So you had to write a check for. Are you serious? You have to write
I didn't
a check
have to
for him.
write a check. Like I woke up one morning and I remember I had 5 business accounts, and they froze all my accounts for all the money that was in there. And they didn't stop that they took every single penny they needed to take.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they did it on the first of the month because they knew that that's when the real, like, a lot of money comes in, because first of the month is usually where all the money comes in, and all everybody starts paying their bills, you know. And like I'm talking about, literally 90% of the money or 80% of the money they took was the company money, like Metro PCS bills that I had to pay them. So they took that money, so I had to take money out of my pocket to cover that money.
That's crazy, yo.
That was one of the things that kind of hurt me. And once, $32,000 comes out of my account one day, you know, you had to have 32,000. That's why when I say, whenever you decide to open a business, let's say opening a business costs you 50 grand, you have to have 50 grand to open that business and another 50 grand to put as a security for that business, because you never start making money the first year. So
Yeah,
you're gonna have to survive by paying out of your pocket to stay open little by little.
uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know who it was, but some guy he put this principle out there that you have to have a net worth of at least $5 million if you have a family. If you want to like be
No,
secure,
not everybody talk millions, man. Come on. We're at the end of the day.
5 million just as a security net, just in case you get like sued or something, or emergency funds or something medical
No,
happens.
I mean, you
Five
have to
million
have.
here.
At that time, I was naive. I didn't pay for insurances. So when I got sued, there was no insurance to cover for that. If I had insurance, they would have covered it.
Insurance
So
insurance covers lawsuits.
yeah, it covers
I had
lawsuits,
I had
covers
no idea.
burning, it covers a lot of stuff. So let's say if your store burns, one day you come and your store is burnt, you're covered. They pay you everything that costs inside. They pay you for the losses. The days you make $1,000 a day, they pay you $1,000 a day till you get your money. Could you get your store back and running?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's what insurance is that's for. Just like a car, you get a crash your car, they pay you for your car, or
Mhm.
they fix it for you.
By the way, what car are you driving right now?
Uh, Driving a hoopty.
Yeah, stop
Why?
lying. Stop lying.
Driving a 2016 Jaguar XF with
Hey, that's like,
32,000 miles on it.
all right, before we close this out, because it's Ramadan and you got to go eat. For all the Muslims out there, you understand.
Yeah.
What for anybody starting out or anybody who's like overwhelmed by the idea of like following their dream and starting a business and like
My
quitting nine
first
to five.
advice to them, my first advice to them, whatever the field they want to take, work for somebody for 2, 3, 4 years. Don't jump from place to place and expect yourself to learn like, let's say today you're working in a cell phone store for like 4 or 5 months, and then next week you're working in a tow truck, and then the week after you're working at a grocery store. You're not gonna do anything like that because
Yeah,
you're gonna keep your mind is gonna be changing too much.
yeah,
Like the only reason I was able to buy that store and start my own business is because I did 2, 3 years with somebody that I learned from, that taught me the game, and not even me learning from him and him telling me what to do. I was doing it myself, so I learned what to do from
yeah,
experience,
yeah.
and that's how I got a little confidence, even though it wasn't enough until I started doing it myself. But that's how you learn. That's how you learn. You gotta do time, man, to be able to move on to the next level. It's levels. You can't jump to the second floor with one step. Can you
That's
do
good.
that?
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you have to take it one step at a time until you get to the top.
Yeah,
And that's how it works in everything, man.
I like that. Hey man, you're a motivational guy, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. I still have employees that were employed by me back in the days, and they still, call me and say, "Yo, I learned so much from you, and thank you for the advices, and thank you for teaching me so much." Even though it wasn't like, I wasn't doing it on purpose, but they learned from my advice, they learned from me talking to them all the time, so it's a good thing, man.
Yeah,
And I
same
think,
here.
you know
Same here. I didn't like when I was working for you those 2 summers. I didn't realize I would take away so much, like work ethic, how to fix a
yeah,
phone,
you
how to
gotta
talk
be,
to a customer.
yeah, you learned a lot of stuff, and that's a good thing. You gotta take it and go to the next level with it, man. But not everybody's meant to do cell phones, and not everybody's meant to do, everyone has something that they like to do and they enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you would have put me in a pizza place and told me, yeah, work here for 5 years and then own yours, I wouldn't have never liked it,
Uh-huh.
because I don't like being in that. I don't like that type of business, or the transportation business. Like I tried running a business with somebody in the transportation. I was transporting, like, people to dialysis and sick people on wheelchair and stuff like that. But I didn't like it. It wasn't a passion. I didn't like it. But in the cell phone, I found myself more comfortable. I found myself more free to be creative and do other things, which is pretty cool for me, man.
Yeah, what happened with that Uber business?
No, I gave it to him and I let him go do it on his own or find somebody else. It wasn't for me, man, at that
But how
time.
does a
I mean,
business
I
like
made money off of it, but
how does a business like that work? You like set up an Uber account and just do you send
no,
out
you have to know people, man. It doesn't just go set up an Uber account, because they they had they had a few people that they gave the accounts to run in the city. And if you were one of those people, you had the opportunity to have a certain amount of trucks or minivans with wheelchair running in the city, where they uh, they pick up people on a regular basis, and then the company pays you, and you're good. But it wasn't for me because it required so much, like, requires purchasing a lot of vans, which they were expensive. It required the high insurance for to keep it running. It required maintenance. It required gas every day. It requires employees because you can't drive 5 trucks by yourself. You have to hire people, and it was a lot. So I didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite anyway.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when you were trying to start that thing up, it seemed like a headache.
I mean, I did it, but it was a lot of work, man. I remember there were days I had to stay up all night driving people, man. One
Damn.
night I had to drive all the way to Harrisburg or Pittsburgh or somewhere, and I drove 3 hours up and 3 hours down. I didn't come back till like 3, 4 in the morning. It was very tiring and
How
very
much?
time consuming.
How much does a job like that pay? A 6-hour job like that?
They were paying, I think, 24 an hour. Yeah,
20 per hour?
$24. No, $26 an hour.
Damn. If I was gonna drive that long, I would want like a set price. That way, I know beforehand. I don't, like an
No,
hourly.
but it was a
Right?
guaranteed. Like, let's
Yeah.
say $24 an hour. Throughout the whole day, you might take 3 rides only. So you might work 2, 3 hours, but you're still getting paid for a whole 24 hours. You do the math, 24 times 6.
Oh.
24 times 26. That's
Gotcha.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're paying you for a whole day of work, and you're only working 3 hours a day.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I took it as something else. All right.
Yeah, it's got a lot of money, man. Thank you for your time, my man. I gotta go, man.
Thank you for your time.
No problem, man. I'm glad to do this again one day.
Hey.
When I have a little bit of time, I don't mind.
All right. Thank you
All
for
right.
sharing knowledge. Thank you for letting people out there know how it is running a business, how to start,
Thank
all
you,
that
man.
stuff.
All
And
right, buddy.
peace out, Business Entree.
Keep doing what you gotta do, man. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later, man. All right, bye.